I sure do love making videos about Pikmin, don't I? Yes. Yes, I do. Well, Pikmin fans sit in sorrow year after year, waiting for even a glimpse of Pikmin 4, wondering if the Switch, or any Nintendo system at all for that matter, will see another Pikmin game. And while hopes drop further and further for a Pikmin 4, it seems like more and more people are expecting a Pikmin 3 port from the Wii U. And it's an interesting issue for Pikmin fans, because while anything Pikmin related is a plus, it would still be disappointing to only get a port when we've gotten one new game in the series since the GameCube. Nope, don't even bring that up. Is a Pikmin 3 port coming? Should we want to see one come? Was Hey Pikmin an elaborate joke that the human race simply hasn't gotten yet? Because I can't think of any other reasonable alternatives. Hello all 2,260 of you, I'm Redkwan, and will we get a Pikmin 3 port? Hey, what are you doing there? I see you writing that comment about how I milk the Pikmin series for views. Yeah, stop it. See, this is completely different, because it's about Pikmin 3, not Pikmin 4. Those are completely different topics, which makes any complaint you had stupid and dumb. Now, first of all, why would a Pikmin 3 port potentially make sense? Well, money. Wii U ports to the Switch have pretty much all been very successful for Nintendo, and they don't take that much time or work to make, so Nintendo can make quite a bit of money from putting games like that out. Plus, because not many people had Wii U's, the games they're putting out feel new to a lot of people, and Nintendo can basically pass them off like they're Switch games. They can help pad out release schedules and give the Switch more games, which seems like it could be especially helpful heading into 2020 and 2021, because at this point we know almost nothing about what's coming in the next couple of years, and that might be because there's not much. So Pikmin 3 could be a way to pad out the release schedule over the next couple of years, make a decent amount of money without taking too much time or money away from other projects, and give the Switch yet another well-reviewed game to talk about. It also fits the same mold as the other Wii U ports, in that they've all been slightly smaller games from the Wii U that not a ton of people played, but that were still reviewed very well. Pikmin 3 fits that category pretty much perfectly. It was very well received by fans and critics, but wasn't a huge seller on the Wii U. The only difference is that it's more linked to the previous games in its series, while most of the other Wii U ports were pretty much standalone games. I don't think this would be a big problem, because Pikmin still isn't like a super story-driven series, and Pikmin 3 could still be easily enjoyed by people who didn't play the previous two games, but the sequel aspect might be part of the reason it wasn't ported sooner. There's also the possibility that Nintendo would do a Pikmin trilogy, and while that would be better, it's a lot more work, and it's a lot better value for the customers, and I think Nintendo knows they don't have to throw the extra stuff in to get people to buy it. They could add in the other two games if they really wanted to, but I feel confident that if they did anything, it would just be a port of Pikmin 3. So there are a lot of reasons why Nintendo would want to port Pikmin 3, but I also feel like there are some big reasons why it might not happen. First of all, Wii U ports have really slowed down at this point, and while it's not impossible for new Wii U ports to show up, it seems like if they wanted to do it, they probably would have done it already. Also, Pikmin just isn't the biggest series. While it's true that Nintendo wants to port games that weren't huge sellers to some extent, Pikmin 3 would still be on the low end for the games ported to the Switch, and Nintendo might be concerned it wouldn't do great numbers. I don't think Pikmin's so-so sales have been entirely its own fault, but at the same time, it's never gone much over 1 million copies per game, and Nintendo did put the first two Pikmin games on the Wii, sort of like how they would with the Switch, and those didn't take off there either. Again, I think Pikmin 3 would do pretty well if it got ported to the Switch, but it's a little hard to say for sure, and that might be a concern for Nintendo. And of course, there's the big potential issue, which is Pikmin 4. Redkwan, you said you wouldn't talk about Pikmin 4, that this was a completely different and unrelated topic. No, pretty sure I never said anything like that. If Pikmin 4 was to come out, or if Nintendo was planning on having it come out on the Switch, a Pikmin 3 port might be affected. Now, you might think that if Nintendo wanted to release Pikmin 4 on the Switch, that a Pikmin 3 port would make more sense to do, but I actually don't think that's true. If we look at the games from the Wii U that have been ported to the Switch, almost none of them have gotten new entries on the Switch. If Nintendo was porting games onto the Switch to get people excited about the new games in that series that would be coming out later, we almost certainly would have heard about some of them by this point. I think it's likely that these ports are more like fill-ins for the series on the Switch than anything. I don't think Nintendo ported games like New Super Mario Bros. U and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze to get people excited about the new games in their series. At this point, it seems like those are the Switch entries in those series. Not many people played the Wii U, so Nintendo could get away with doing something like that. And it seems like they want to cash in as much as they can on the Switch with their bigger series, so they might not want to waste time making series they know wouldn't do as well. It might make sense just to port everything smaller. But what exactly does that mean for Pikmin? I think if Nintendo's thinking about all of this like they seem to, it would make sense to port Pikmin 3. I also think that if we got a port of Pikmin 3, we wouldn't get Pikmin 4 on the Switch. But the thing is, it seems like if we were going to get a port of Pikmin 3, we would have gotten one by now. It's a lot of stuff to think about, and honestly, it doesn't make a ton of sense. If Nintendo was going to port Pikmin 3, why wouldn't they have done it by now? And if they were planning on releasing Pikmin 4, a game they would have presumably been working on for like 7 years, why haven't we heard about that either? I think it really leaves only two options. Either Nintendo has been working on Pikmin 4, but it's just been taking a long time for some reason, or Nintendo doesn't think putting Pikmin on the Switch is worthwhile at all, and they aren't even going to waste their time with a port. I guess a third possibility is that they're still sitting on a Pikmin 3 port for whatever reason, but I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense because there have been plenty of big gaps in Nintendo's release schedule where something like that could have helped. But maybe they were just saving it for bigger and more glaring gaps? I don't know, I sure hope not. Maybe the third possibility is the case, but to me it seems like if we were getting a Pikmin 3 port, we would have gotten it by now, considering how Nintendo handled all their other Wii U ports. And I think it's either because they're going to have something else with Pikmin on the Switch, or they just don't think Pikmin would be worth doing as a port in general. In either case, I don't think a Pikmin 3 port is going to happen on the Switch. But maybe that's a good thing. I think not seeing a port of Pikmin 3 means a fourth game on the Switch would be more likely, and maybe that really is the reason they've been holding out. I mean, they've probably just given up on the Pikmin series as a whole, but you never do know, right? Pikmin 4 could still happen. Well, I'm Redkwan. Do you think we're getting a Pikmin 3 port? What do you think that means for Pikmin 4? Do people even care anymore? Or have they all given up on Pikmin and I'm just speaking to nobody at this point? Well, I guess it's just me and you, Brian. Brian? Well then. Anyways, I'm Redkwan, thank you all for watching, and I'll hopefully see you all later. Goodbye.